Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gabby if you didn't know. Now you know, and I'm a little nervous for this one. We're about to get real personal. So today we're gonna do a little girl TMI sit down Q&A, kind of a little like big sis chat. I feel like I'm constantly getting DMs and like comments on everything that are like, I feel like you're a big sister to me and I feel like I have someone to talk to when I don't in real life. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a whole video about that. Let me be your go-to person. Let me answer your questions, give my experiences on things, and you guys didn't hold back. Although I will say there was so many questions, so if you want a part 2 to this, let me know. I tried to keep it kind of surface level for the first round, but if this goes well and you guys enjoy it, we can just go even harder next time. So I asked on my Instagram on the little Q&A thing, which if you're not following me there, what are you doing? That's where I'm definitely most active, most interactive with you guys. That and TikTok, I will say. TikTok has been becoming close to my favorite platform, but I'm always asking on there for questions, so make sure you follow me on there so that way you can participate in the next one. And I just screenshotted some of my favorites and let's get right to it. First question, do you take birth control? What is your experience? So yes, I've been on birth control since I was 17, which I'm now 22. I originally went on birth control for a couple reasons. My reason was my cramps. My cramps were really bad for some reason. And before I moved to Florida, they used to be like so bad that at practices, I would just cry. I felt like I couldn't feel my entire like midsection. It literally like went numb. My cramps were so bad. So my sister was already on birth control at that point, so we already like knew about it and knew that it helped. But then in my mom's eyes, I had a pretty serious boyfriend. We spent a lot of time together, a lot of nights together, and she was like, we're gonna put you on birth control. And I was like, okay, I'm down. So my mom made the appointment and came to the gynecologist with me, and they just prescribed me one. I couldn't even tell you what kind it is. I got super lucky that I've been on the same kind the entire 5 years that I've been on it. I've had no side effects at all. Honestly, I love it. It regulates my period so much. I still get a little bit of cramps, but not terrible. I don't want to just tell you the specific brand of birth control I'm on because I don't want you to just get that one because I'm on it. I think it's worth the conversation with your doctor and figuring it out which one works best for you. But I take the pill. I forgot that there's so many different kinds now. I take the pill every night at 11 p.m. I have my little alarm go off, and throughout the 5 years, I think I've only forgot it 2 nights total. So I'm pretty good at it. Next one, what do you do if you have your period on a cheer comp weekend? So because I'm on birth control, my period is so like scheduled that I started, TMI, do you care? No, but I started on like a Tuesday night. So that way, pretty much by Friday, it's basically gone. If not, there's like barely anything left. And I love that because that's how birth control works, is like on a weekly basis like that. So therefore, I'm hardly ever on it for a competition weekend. And if I am, it's literally like at the very end of the cycle and it's like barely anything. So I don't ever have to worry about having it like a heavy flow on a competition day. Next question. Has your period ever suddenly stopped and then not come back for months? So this is actually what happened when I first got my period. I had it literally for a day. I like came home from school and I was like, what the heck is this? This is weird. And then I didn't get it for another like 4 or 5 months, and then it was like regular from there on. Other than that, I think it's because of my birth control, like my period is literally like to the hour of when I get it every single month. It is so scheduled, so regular. I love it because I don't ever have surprises. So no, I haven't, besides that very first time, I've never had my period like leave for a couple months and then come back. But I do know that that is normal. But if it is something you're worried about, go talk to your doctor. I love my gynecologist. She is amazing. And I think it's really important to have a doctor that you feel comfortable with that thing, because a lot of stuff like this just needs to be open conversation. So find a good doctor that you love and it'll change your life. And the next one, is a tampon supposed to be painful? No. If it's uncomfortable or if it's painful, you don't have it in right. Most of the time you just don't have it in far enough, or it's dry. Nothing is worse. Oh my God, that is the worst pain ever when like I mean, boys aren't watching at this point, so it shouldn't be TMI. This stuff should not be taboo to talk about considering half the population goes through it, but nothing is worse than an uncomfortable tampon. It is the worst thing ever. And I feel like there's so many times where I wear a tampon pretty much all day and then I get to practice and it just starts to move around a little bit and it gets so uncomfortable, and it's like, I'm not gonna waste a tampon just for these 2 hours at practice, so I just push through it. But it's not supposed to be painful and it's not supposed to be uncomfortable, so you probably just have to push it in a little bit more. Next one, have you ever hooked up with anyone or had a pregnancy scare? No. I'm not about the hookup culture. If I'm doing something like that, it's with someone super serious. And also because of birth control, I've never had a pregnancy scare at all. Like I said, my period is literally down to the hour of every week. So I just know when it's coming, and it always comes. And I've literally never had a single period scare. And on that note, use protection more than just birth control. You don't need a pregnancy scare if you just take the proper precautions, and then you don't gotta worry about it. How do you feel confident in your body during a hookup? Okay, so I wanted to include this one. I don't really have the best tips for it, but this is kind of not something I'm going through right now, but oh my God, what if someone doesn't like this, or I don't do this right, or whatever it is, because I've only based that off of one person. But then you have to remind yourself that I'm pretty sure everyone has their own insecurities about stuff like that. So even if you're thinking about it, the person that you're with probably is thinking more about themselves and like more worried about what they're doing than what you're doing. And that is with life anyway. Like if you go out in the world and you're like, oh my God, what are people thinking of me? Most likely they're not thinking about you. They're thinking of themselves. Everyone in this world is selfish. We all have our own insecurities, our own things to worry about. And I feel like we put way too much thought into what other people are thinking when they're literally not thinking anything of it. Next one, did it hurt the first time? Okay, obviously this is gonna be different for every single person. Mine did. It was not fun for a little bit, but it's totally, I think it's like a different scenario for everyone. I don't have a crazy story at all, but yeah. Why are these things so awkward to talk about? How do you feel about one night stands? Are they for you? Have they ever been for you? No. Like I said, I've only had one real intimate relationship, and I'm just not the type of person. One, how am I supposed to trust what you've been inside, what you do to yourself? Are you clean? I can't trust that, even if you tell me you are. I don't know what you got going on with you. I am not about a one night stand. I have to like know a person. We have to be like super, super comfortable to get to that point. And that's just, I don't know. More power to you if you can just do that and you get to just have that pleasure very often, but not for me at all. I feel so much pressure to do the deed, but I'm just not ready. And that is okay. Society puts so much pressure and also stereotypes and negativity all around this idea. Like, it's so weird growing up how guys get praised for how many girls they sleep with or how many times they've hooked up, and then girls get shamed for doing the same thing. But it's like, how, like, where does that match up? It doesn't. But also then the same thing goes towards the other way of like the pressure of losing your V card and all of this. First of all, you don't lose anything. It's not like, oh, I had sex, all of a sudden I don't know, like nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. It's not this big thing. I don't know why it's so like put on a pedestal in society. But if you're not ready for it, do not do it. It is only going to make things worse if you do something that you're not ready for. It's like, for me, it's such a special thing. I don't like to just do it with anyone. There's been so many times where I've said no to guys about it. And this is another thing I know that's also kind of a scary scenario with everything that goes on in the world, not just guys. Obviously, it goes both ways. But the whole thing of consent, and that is kind of why I'm not a fan of hookup culture. I don't want to get to that point with someone that I don't feel fully comfortable with, that knowing if I were to say no, they would respect that. So I'd rather, that's why I just kind of, if I'm ever serious with someone, I've been in certain situations and I'm like, no, I don't want to take this any farther. I don't want to do that. And that is okay. It is your body. It is your choice. No one needs to put pressure on what you do with your body. It's not anyone else's business. Everyone has different timelines. And that's that. If you don't feel or if you feel pressure and you're not ready, you're not ready. Don't do it. You're so beautiful. There's nothing negative about it. There's nothing that makes you different than someone that did do it at all. So there's that. There's my take on that. So next one. At what age do you think a person could start dating? Like the perfect age to start? I feel like this ties into the last one because everyone's on a different timeline. There is no perfect age to start. I was a little hoe in elementary school. I had a different boyfriend every single week. I dated the same kid about 10 times. I held hands with my boyfriend during kindergarten nap time. Like, she went through her hoe phase very early on in life. And then it kind of went backwards and I was a really late bloomer in everything else. I dated a few times like in high school, and I would say it was my first like serious relationship, and that was when I didn't feel comfortable taking that to the next level at all. But I also think everyone needs to go through a rough heartbreak. It is, I stand by that statement. It has made me the person I am today. It has been the most pivotal moments in my life. all of my breakups, and everyone needs to go through it. So if that means you need a date in high school of some douchebag guy that's gonna go around and break your heart, obviously I'm saying don't just do that for fun, but like sometimes if you feel that urge, just you need to do it. You need to get it out of the way. You need to get your heart broken. You need to learn what you want from a relationship, what you don't want from a relationship, what you deserve, what guys you should go for, what guys you shouldn't go for. Just have fun. We're young. You're never gonna get these years back, and if all goes to plan, if that's what you want to do and you're gonna be married to one person for your rest of your life, have fun while you're young. Again, use protection, be safe, whatever the case is. But I don't think there's a perfect age to start dating. My parents were super laid back about that. They were never like, oh, you can't date till a certain age at all. My parents literally would drive me 2 hours. My boyfriend in high school lived 2 hours away from me. So my parents would literally drive me 2 hours, drop me off to stay with him for the weekend. First of all, I'm like looking back on that and I'm like, why did they do that? But I feel like just whatever feels right for you, just go for it. I feel like when you know it's the right time, you know. It's that cliche saying of when you know, but really it's that. What about getting back with my ex? Don't do it. I'm just kidding. There's certain scenarios where, well, here's my thing. I don't regret getting back with my ex at all. I feel like I needed to go through that in order to be where I am now, because after the first breakup, I feel like I was not so over it. I like needed a little bit more. Like I knew it wasn't over between us. Now I know for sure it is over between us. I'm so thankful that we went through that. We had such a civil, mature breakup, whatever the case is. But I get so many questions that are like, how do I win my ex back? And I'm like, don't. Why would you want to win someone back that doesn't see your worth? Like, you shouldn't be bending over backwards just to make someone else realize that you're worth it and that they want to be with you. Like, go live your life for you, and the right person will want to add to that. And I know that's hard because it's like, then you start to look inside and you're like, well, what did I do wrong? What can I fix? And it's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't lose anything in that scenario. This is always my go-to when people ask how I got through a breakup. If someone broke up with you and they walked away, they lost someone that was willing to give them the absolute world and love them every single day of their life. And then if you look at that the flip side, you lost someone that was willing to just give up and walk away. You didn't lose anything. Be thankful it happened now and not 2 years later. And then you were pushed back even more in your timeline of life. Like, you're winning. You lost someone that didn't want to be in your life. And I feel like that's always something that would help me so much in my breakups. It's like, I didn't lose anything. He lost someone that was going to literally give him the absolute world. And I feel like if you think of it that way, then it's, what did this question even say? Where am I at? Oh, getting back with an ex. So yeah, if you feel like you've gone through the whole breakup cycle, you're ready to get back with them, they've proven to you, this is the thing, you can't go in the relationship hoping things will get fixed. They have to prove to you before you even get back together that whatever the caused the breakup is done, it's over with, you can forgive them. That was my biggest issue, is once I got back with my ex, I still always kind of held, not a grudge, but like I always had that in the back of my mind that he walked away once and what's stopping him from doing it again. And I honestly think that's where we went wrong. I was never fully in the relationship the second time because I always had that worry. So if you are getting back with them and you truly feel like it's the right decision, everything has to be laid out on the table. You have to forgive them for everything. They have to prove to you that they're not gonna do it again, and then go for it. I just got out of a 4-year relationship. How do you find yourself again after that? Girl, welcome to my world. So here's the thing. I lost myself completely in my relationship. I was not my own person. Even people that I knew, it literally makes me want to cry sometimes because I went through so many years that should have been the most fun years of my life, and I was miserable. I did not enjoy college whatsoever. I didn't go to a single college party. I didn't go to a single college football game, and I love sports. Like, I love football, but I lost all my hobbies and everything I loved, and anything that I wanted to do for myself was completely thrown out of the window in my relationship. So I knew once the breakup happened, I almost had that moment of feeling like free again and becoming my own person. I just watched a football game by myself on my couch the other night. It's like, I haven't done that in so long. And it just feels so good to do stupid little things like that I just totally lost. So when I first got out of the breakup, I focused on the little things. I was like, what can I do today that is just gonna make me feel like calm, at ease, And those things were more like go watch the sunset, listen to music on my balcony. I like doodled on Procreate on my iPad. I did little things that wouldn't necessarily just distract me from everything, but would kind of keep me busy and also just make me feel good. According to my breakup timeline, first step is to feel everything. Cry as much as you need in the shower, to a movie, in the car, wherever you feel comfortable crying, cry it out. You can't heal from things until you feel those things. So I always cried right away. And then after that, I would do the little things that made me happy, and then I would start going even more out of my comfort zone, saying yes to things I normally wouldn't, like hang out with friends, just trying to make plans with people to just kind of like create my own life again. Like I was finally my own person. I could put myself first. I didn't have to worry about anyone else. So just literally do whatever you want. You will never have the opportunity again where your only focus is you. So take that to the full advantage. Do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter what other people say about it, because it's your life and you can live it however you want. So just do little things that you stop doing in your relationship and just find what makes you you, find what makes you happy, and take those things and run with it. And last question, I get this one all the time, especially on TikTok lately, and that is my shaving routine, specifically for our girl down there. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I just shave it like a normal, like I shave my legs. I don't even use shaving cream or anything. I just shave it with water in the shower. But I personally just shave it. I know a lot of people prefer waxing or laser hair removal or whatever the scenario is. I don't get razor burn or any bumps or anything, so I feel comfortable just shaving mine. Something I've noticed about mine compared to like talking to my friends is mine stays very much so within my like tan lines of my bikini, so within my bikini line. So I don't necessarily have to worry about the outsides showing very much. Mine's more of like a comfort thing. If it grows too much, it just gets uncomfortable. And another question I saw a lot, I don't know why I didn't screenshot it, but so many people were asking like, do I have to have it shaved? Do they really care about that when they're going down on you, whatever the case is? And no, they shouldn't. It's your body. Obviously, that's something that's going to be very situational from person to person. And if someone does care about it, it's pretty shallow of them. And I feel like that just kind of says a lot about them. Personally, like I said, it's a comfort thing. When it gets too long, it just gets you super uncomfortable. Not a fan of it. But again, you do you. Your body, your choice in every aspect. And no one else can tell you what to do with it. So that wraps up this little Q&A. I was so nervous for this, and that was kind of fun. I like it. I hate that this is such a taboo topic, and like girls especially just feel like shamed to talk about it because of the way society views this, and that's not good. So we're gonna be open on this platform. So we're gonna make a little like girly gang down below, and I wish there was another way that I could have all of you guys like interact with me on a platform. If you have any ideas for that, let me know. I would love that. But this is fun. I hope you enjoyed. Give it a big like, comment down below, subscribe to your post notifications on, all that, and I'll see you in the next video.